Okay, this is how to change a center headlight globe on a Mazda 3 2007 model. I believe 2004 to 2009 are all the same. So first of all, just we need to go and remove the plastic power source clip off the back of the headlight, and then from there we take off the rubber housing that sits on the back of the light. This is just to keep the water out, so just pull that off. It should come straight off, and put that aside somewhere. The next part is a tricky part. There's a small metal fastening pin. Here it is there. It just looks like a paper clip. And there's a screwed area there with a little metal piece. That is what's holding the pin. So you need to push the pin down, and in this instance in the video you push up towards the top of the screen. That will release the pin from underneath that screwed metal piece. It's quite tricky, it's quite hard to see, so it might even be best to put your camera phone down and just film the area just so you know where that metal screw area is. Just don't lose your phone. Then from there you can remove the globe, and you need to take the globe out of the back of that black casing. We need that black casing to put the new globe in. So you should be able to just release that out, and then from there you can grab your new globe and put that into the black casing. Black casing will have two little metal slots for those two metal prongs in the globe to slide into, and it will click into place. So once that's in, we can put the globe back into the unit. Just make sure that the fastening clip is pushed aside. You'll then need to put the globe in, and it needs to line up. So you'll need to sort of just make sure that it slots in and sits flush inside there before you put the pin back over. And once it feels good, pull the pin back over and push it down, and just do the reverse. You basically need to push the pin down and then slot it back down underneath that little screwed metal piece area. So once that's done, it's secure. So we can now put the rubber housing back onto the back of the light. Just make sure that it's on nice and tight so no water can get into the unit. And from there you can put the power source clip back on the back. You just slide it straight over the two prongs, and it should be ready to work. So from there, just slide it on and go and check your lights and see whether that center globe turns on. Okay, and there you go, you can see that the globe is working in the center. That's fine, it's all good. So we can do the same thing on the other side. It's exactly the same, except the very start there's a cover that needs to be taken off, and it's got 3 screws in it just here. So we just need to take these 3 screws out to access that area. The screws are like little sort of plastic dynabolts, so they'll screw out, and there's a little casing that the screw sits inside of that sort of holds everything together. So take the screws out, put them aside somewhere safe, and then you need to pop the little the cover off with the little casings there. So just make sure you don't lose the casings either, because they'll secure the screws later. Put the cover aside, and now you have access to the headlight. So once again, we need to remove the plastic clip from the back of the headlight, and then we can remove the rubber housing, rubber casing from the back, and just put that aside somewhere safe. And then we're back to the tricky part where we just need to get to that fastening pin. So there it is again. You just need to press down on the bent area there, and it's spring loaded, so you just push it down and then push it towards the top of the screen. That will release, and then you can pull the globe out. So from there you just do the same thing, where you take the old globe off the back, the black part, and you can grab your new globe and just slide the new globe into the black casing. And once that's done, you can just put the globe back inside the unit, and once again just make sure that it all sort of lines up it's quite difficult to see in there. So once you feel that it's all lined up, you can then put the metal fastening clip over the top. So you just need to push the fastening clip over and underneath that metal screw area, and then it's secure back on. From there you can put the rubber casing back on the back. Make sure that it's nice and tight, and then you can get your power source clip and just slot that back in over into the globe. So yeah, once again, it should be ready to work. Go test your lights out. The center globe is working. Obviously everything's all good. So now we can put the cover back on. We want to make sure that the lights work before we put the cover back on, otherwise we've got to go in and out again and mess around. So we put the plastic cover back on, we get the little plastic Dynabolt casings and slot them into the holes that are matched up, and then we get the screws and we can screw them in over top. Now the screws won't bite down tight, but as long as they're screwed all the way down, they will hold everything in place. I also have a video on how to replace the high beam globes, which I have a link for in the description.